Tonight, a large crowd gathered on Parliament Hill for the Draw the Line protest.
It started out as a climate rally, but we realized that we need to build a much larger coalition.
2 people arrested for mischief protesting Carney's government agenda. Some of the top women cyclists are in the National Capital Region this weekend for the Tour de Gatineau.
Usually I race in Europe, so I always like to come home and do this race.
Today's road race includes cyclists pedaling across the river into Ottawa. And tailgaters take advantage of the city's rules allowing alcohol in select parks.
Seeing all these people coming out at noon instead of, having to wait until later on in the day, I think just adds to the atmosphere and will make this day even more exciting.
The Ottawa Redblacks hosting their first ever tailgating party on the Great Lawn at Lansdowne. Good evening. Austin is off tonight, and we begin with a large protest here in the capital this morning as part of a national movement called Draw the Line. Protesters marched through the streets, pushing back on Prime Minister Mark Carney's government agenda. CTV's Natalie Van Roy was outside Parliament Hill today for the demonstration and joins us now live in studio with more. Natalie.
Kimberly, the Ottawa Police Service says 2 people were arrested for mischief following the protest, and there was also a large mural painted outside the Prime Minister's office that read "People, Peace, Planet, Not Profit."
United will never be defeated! The people!
Liz Deacon and Carol Sulphur are seniors passionate about climate justice.
We want the federal government to work harder at some of these issues that need to be addressed and not just pay lip service.
The group, part of a large protest called Draw the Line that moved through the downtown streets of Ottawa on Saturday.
Here for, as they say on some of the posters, the people, peace and planet, and certainly all the combinations of the different groups that are represented here.
A rally against Prime Minister Mark Carney's government priorities ahead of the fall budget.
It started out as a climate rally, but we realized that we need to build a much larger coalition. So it's about bringing in people who are standing in solidarity with Palestine. It's about bringing in people who are standing up for peace in the face of a potential quadrupling of military spending.
The rally started outside the Prime Minister's office on Wellington Street before moving to the U.S. Embassy and the Human Rights Monument. Speakers set up as the crowd cheered on.
The public sector continues.
Similar marches were held across the country in Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, and Edmonton.
It's about cuts to public services and opposing the austerity agenda that's been announced. And it's about migrant justice. So the idea is to build a coalition of all the groups working on those different issues.
Protesters also painted a large mural in front of the Prime Minister's office that read "People, Peace, Planet, Not Profit." Organizers said the paint is washable.
We started out at Mark Carney's office. He's announced billions in cuts to the public sector while announcing the quadrupling of military spending, while continuing to ship arms that end up contributing to the assault on Gaza.
Police said 2 people were arrested for mischief in connection to the painting. Wellington Street was closed for the cleanup.
The proposed cuts to the federal public service aim to find $25 billion savings over 3 years. And Prime Minister Mark Carney has also committed to boost military spending to hit a target of 5% of the national GDP by 2035. Kimberly.
CTV's Natalie Van Roy reporting live for us tonight. Thank you very much, Natalie. Doctors Without Borders also had a demonstration on Parliament Hill today calling for an end to the conflict in Gaza.
Stop it now! Stop it now!
Up to 100 members of the group and supporters formed a human chain gallery along Wellington Street. They displayed images showing the devastation unfolding in Gaza. One person was taken to hospital with serious injuries following a stabbing in the city's south end last night. The incident happened on Saratoga Place just before 8 p.m. Ottawa paramedics say the victim is a man in his 30s. A police investigation is now underway, but no arrests have been reported. Or nearly 100 of some of the best female racers from across Canada and around the world rolled through the streets of the National Capital Region today for the Tour de Gatineau. CTV's Dylan Dyson was along the race route today and joins us now with a recap. Dylan.
Kim, the field for today's race consisted of Olympic and Tour de France riders, but it was one local rider from Gatineau who was the star of today's race. Starting from the front of the pack, Gatineau's Laurie Millette is aiming for a podium finish at her third Tour de Gatineau.
It's really special, and yeah, I really love this race, and it's great that we have teams that are coming from Europe too. It just makes it more of a big deal, so yeah, it's really special to me.
The international race drawing some of the best female cyclists from around the world to downtown Gatineau.
We have Team Australia that come, I think, at the furthest, and then we have Visma-Liseberg, a team from the Netherlands are here, so it's really girls from everywhere around the world.
Saturday's road race spanned across the river into Ottawa as riders completed 11 laps of the course for a total of 122 kilometers.
It's great to have, the Gatineau and Ottawa are like kind of a great place to cycle. So we have some really amazing roads for cycling. So it's fun to see that being leveraged for actual events.
The field made up of mostly Canadian riders getting the most out of the home course advantage.
She loves coming here. This is one of her favorite races, and especially because it's in Canada, so she gets our supporters, family and friends coming to watch her.
Very cool and very interesting. My wife and I have never been to Ottawa before, so we thought, hey, let's take advantage of it and come and see the race, but also the whole area is very, very interesting, very worthwhile to come and see.
After nearly 3 hours of tight racing, the Visma team from the Netherlands claimed all 3 spots on the podium. But right behind them was Millette, who was recognized as the top Quebec and Canadian cyclist.
5th place, still not so bad, but yeah, I just wished I had a bit more in me for the final sprint. I'm a bit mad at myself for the final. I was really hoping for the podium.
Nevertheless, the performance cheered as a hometown win.
It was great. I mean, I could hear my name on the whole course. It was really great to see everyone.
Rounding out the standings in positions 6, 7, and 8 were 3 more Canadians, including Skylar Goodsward in 6th, riding for the Cyclery Racing Team based here in Ottawa. Kimberly.
122 kilometers. Could you ride that?
Not me.
No, I can't even drive that without getting tired, that's for sure. CTV's Dylan Dyson reporting live for us. Thank you, Dylan. All right, we'll take a first check of weather and see what's happening here. Wow, what a beautiful day if you're out and about. A little bit chillier as we are heading into could be a chillier fall season. We have 17 degrees that we're looking at right now. It is sunny, but again, it does feel a little bit cooler out there. We'll take a look at tonight's lows. Look at that. Single digits, 1 degree here for the Ottawa area. Same thing for Cornwall and Brockville. 5 degrees, clear conditions for Kingston and Trenton, though. Look at that, -1. Can you believe that? -1. Kitigan, Zeeby, Pembroke, and Bancroft. And again, we are dealing with a frost warning for the area as well. -1 for Gatineau, Maniwaki, Petawawa. +1 for Kemptville, 0 in Mont Tremblant, and 4 degrees for Montreal. Well, it's a new kind of pre-game tradition here in Ottawa. For the first time, the Redblacks inviting fans to tailgate ahead of kickoff on the Great Lawn at Lansdowne. And thanks to the city's pilot project allowing alcohol in select parks, it's all completely legal. CTV's Josh Moreno joins us live in studio with more how fans are drinking it up with this experience. Josh.
Yeah, Kim, Ottawa football fans finally have an authentic tailgate experience, a place to gather before kickoff with food, drinks, and plenty of team spirit. People I spoke with today say it adds a whole new element to their game day experience. On the Great Lawn at Lansdowne, Stephen Rook is kicking back alongside friends with a beer in hand, a first for a Redblacks game day.
This is great. We just drop off the stuff, have some beers, and don't have to go driving, come back tomorrow, pick up our stuff. It's great. Hundreds of fans showing up hours ahead of kickoff, donning their best Redblacks gear for the first tailgate in team history.
We're not unfamiliar with tailgating. We are unfamiliar with what Redblacks was doing. We're super excited with what they're doing.
Obviously, some effort's been put into the event today, and we're excited to be part of it.
Seeing all these people coming out at noon instead of, having to wait until later on in the day, I think just adds to the atmosphere and will make this day even more exciting.
The city recently loosened its alcohol restrictions, letting people drink in select parks, including Lansdowne.
We brought our cooler. We're excited to have a couple drinks before the game. And otherwise, we're just excited to be part of the Redblacks family.
And then we get the game after, and then that's just another fun time with your friends, but a pre-celebration and pre-game, so it's pretty awesome. You can't go wrong with it.
The family-friendly event featured games, food, and drink trucks, along with fans setting up their own tents, even welcoming in opposing fans with open arms. For many in attendance, their first true tailgate experience.
This is a response to fans. They've been asking for tailgate for a long time, but as things have changed and evolved in terms of bylaws and what's allowed and what's not, fans are able to bring alcohol, bring food now. So we just thought we'd give it a chance, and perfect, fall Saturday afternoon game to get it going.
And for Rook, a longtime fan, he says he hopes to see more tailgates next season.
I mean, 20 years ago, when they had the Renegades and the Rough Riders, they would have a big parking lot here, and we would have tailgates. And there's hundreds of people who show up, and it was great. So it's great that they're bringing it back in some capacity, at least, just to try it out and see how it works out.
The team does have another tailgate scheduled in October ahead of their last home game of the season, and team representatives say they'll add dates for next season once the schedule gets released. As for the game, maybe not as much fun as the party before, the Redblacks falling to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 26-18. Kim.
Well, Josh, I got to ask, did you partake in the pregame bevies at all?
I had to come back here, so no. I'm going to head back next time.
CTV's Josh Moreno reporting live for us tonight. Thank you, Josh. Well, it's one of the most anticipated days of the year for the families of CHEO, the Construction Community Cares Parade. It's not only a fun parade for the kids, it's also a fundraiser to support the Children's Hospital. CTV's Camille Wilson reports.
Construction trucks and heavy equipment revved up the streets, giving the kids and families a show. For Wendy and Wesley, this is just a feeling of what's familiar.
It's just a sense of normal. It's a sense of him being able to enjoy kid things, not in a hospital, not in a room, and seeing other kids and waving and smiling and just being happy.
The 5th annual Construction Community Cares Parade took place Saturday morning with the National Capital Heavy Construction Association and the Ottawa Construction Association getting together to put on a heavy equipment show and tell. Wesley, who is almost 4 years old, has been in the hospital for 7 weeks with a few more to go, but it's all about watching this celebration, the big trucks.
It's fun to get out and enjoy the sunshine and wave at all the trucks. We really appreciate it. Yay!
The community and children patients get to join their families on the curbside, watching from the window at Roger Nielsen Children's Hospice or the Ronald McDonald House, taking in all the trucks go by.
Just to support CHEO is such an incredible thing to do for the community, to come out and make sure that the kids who are at CHEO are having a cool day. It's awesome. It's so important.
Other than being an enjoyable event for the kids, it's also a fundraiser helping CHEO and the Roger Nielsen Children's Hospice to provide the care needed for families and support of pediatric palliative care.
I think it's just a reminder that, for all the kids and families that are going through a hard time here, there's people out there that are looking after them, that are looking out for them, and are caring for them in their own way.
A check donation was made to the CHEO Foundation of more than $15,000.
It means a sense of community. It means a collective coming together in the city at a time when I think we all need it.
And the value of it all, putting smiles on the children's faces.
I think it's invaluable when you can have the kids smile. And so it's priceless.
It's so positive.
Camille Wilson, CTV News.
Well, this is the final weekend of summer, if you can believe it, but the warm, sunny temperatures, well, they're making it feel more like fall. Well, this weekend, there are still plenty of places to enjoy one last gasp of the summer season and soak up the sun. CTV's Kimberly Johnson has more.
They're cardamom-flavored walnut cookies.
Rebecca Simon and her sister are happy to sample some treats at Lavender Pastry.
Never heard of it before, so it's cool to try and really good pastries.
The drinks and cookies at the stand, part of Taste of Wellington on Saturday. Good food and good weather all on display.
We live in Westboro, and it's such a close walk, and it's such a beautiful day, and we just wanted to experience the community and see all the small businesses.
The nation's capital is enjoying sunny skies and above average temperatures on the final weekend of summer. At the annual event, businesses fill the sidewalk with food and clothing throughout the day on Wellington Street West.
It's alive. The city is alive, and that's nice. I feel like events like this, especially when the weather's good, people are out, and trying our food, which we're grateful for.
We've kind of seen a little bit of everything throughout the years, but I would say this is one of the best weather days.
I haven't actually tried a lot of these places before, so it's pretty nice.
And this weather has everyone enjoying everything from a taste of summer to a feeling of fall at the pumpkin patch.
We were just really excited to come today.
Atlas and his mom visiting Saunders Farm for the Pumpkin Fest opening weekend. Something they never miss.
Just really excited about fall and all things pumpkins starting, so we were just really excited to come today.
Despite the warm daytime weather, Environment Canada says there is a frost advisory, keeping things chilly in the morning. But perfect for those happy to embrace a more spooky season.
Generally speaking, opening weekend is quite quiet, and we're probably going to have double the amount of people here this weekend that we would normally have, which is amazing for business.
Still, Environment Canada says we could be seeing warmer days leading into October. Parents happy to have the chance to embrace the change in season.
I think it's just the perfect weather for a day like today.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
All right, still ahead, we'll have an update on the war in Ukraine as Estonia's government claims 3 Russian military jets violated its airspace this week. Plus, we'll have more of your national and international stories when we come back. A live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. We're sitting at 18 degrees, clear conditions here in the capital.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Wake up and start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could be $20,000 richer. Simply watch CTV Your Morning Ottawa for the daily code word. Then enter it online at ctvottawa.ca for your chance to win. Imagine what you could do with an extra $20,000. CTV Your Morning's $20,000 giveaway. Watch CTV Your Morning Ottawa, weekday morning 6 to 9.
Ukrainian officials say Russia launched a major airstrike across the country overnight, leaving multiple people dead and dozens of others injured. Footage posted online shows the moment a Russian missile hit a building in Ukraine's southeastern city of Dnipro. At least 3 people are reported killed, dozens more injured. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the attack was part of a major aerial assault, with Russia launching nearly 600 drones and 40 missiles, targeting infrastructure sites and residential areas. Well, according to Estonia's government, 3 Russian military jets violated its airspace this week. Estonia is now the 3rd NATO country reporting Russian drones or planes in its airspace after Poland and Romania. Russian jets reportedly stayed for 12 minutes Friday morning without the country's permission. As part of NATO's Eastern Sentry operation, the jets were escorted out by Italian, Swedish, and Finnish aircraft stationed in Estonia. Russia's defense ministry has denied it violated Estonia's airspace, saying it flew over neutral waters. Estonia's foreign minister says this is the 4th time this year that Russia has violated its airspace. Gaza Civil Defense Agency says at least 20 people were killed in airstrikes on Gaza City today. This comes as the Israeli military continues to apply what it calls unprecedented force on the enclave. The defense agency says 450,000 Palestinians have fled the area, but many are unable to leave. Truck owners are charging as much as $2,000 US to take people out of Gaza City. The United Nations and members of the international community are calling on Israel to abandon its offensive because of the risk of the worsening humanitarian crisis. This week, the UN said a genocide is taking place in Gaza, and it recently declared a famine. Gaza City has been bombarded in recent weeks as the military aims to seize what it calls one of Hamas's last strongholds. Well, the federal government has launched public consultations on the upcoming review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Free Trade Agreement. Prime Minister Mark Carney says it's focused on easing the pain caused by U.S. tariffs. CTV's Judy Trin has more as the PM wrapped up a trip to Mexico.
Look at that, Pride of Canada right there.
Prairie wheat being offloaded from a Canadian train in Mexico. A choreographed moment to emphasize how improving rail lines, ports, and pipelines can lead to economic growth in both countries. The Prime Minister's strategic partnership with President Claudia Sheinbaum aims to boost trade with Mexico. The results will be tracked.
Every 3 months, there will be an accountability mechanism for us to reconvene with Mexico, and in particular, the ministers responsible for the various items in the action plan.
The plan also calls for more cooperation in fighting drug cartels and human trafficking. But analysts say this meeting was more about concerns that the Canada-US-Mexico trade agreement is unraveling.
It really is about making sure that we're singing from the same songbook, and that Mexico and Canada are not going to get played off of one another.
This after some troubled trade history. During the first Trump administration, Mexico signed a side deal that threatened a North American agreement. But these two leaders say they're committed to negotiating a continental agreement.
CUSMA, USMCA, is strength together. It's strength of the three countries together.
Now, after the U.S. launched public consultations, Canada is doing the same.
Formally, the beginning of the Canadian consultative process with Canadian industry, businesses, workers.
In the meantime, LeBlanc will be visiting Washington in the next few weeks to continue trade talks. He'll also be leading a trade mission to Mexico in the near future. All this as CUSMA is set to expire in June 2026. Judy Trin, CTV News, Mexico City.
Advocacy groups challenging Alberta laws affecting transgender people say that they will continue their fight after learning of the province's plan through a leaked internal memo. CTV's Kathy Lee has more on what's in the document and the controversy surrounding it.
I got a few here. Milo Bernard knows firsthand how complex self-discovery can be as a trans person.
I actually didn't start my whole medical transition, social transition until my 30s.
He now works at Skipping Stone, a nonprofit supporting trans and gender diverse people.
Everybody, regardless of whether they're cisgender or transgender, right, should have the opportunity, especially when they're young, to explore their identity.
Exploring that identity could be even more challenging after a leaked memo obtained by the Canadian press reveals the Alberta Premier intends to invoke the notwithstanding clause for 3 transgender laws.
You effectively protect the law and its continued operation, even if a court were to find that it interfered with, say, freedom of religion or equality rights.
Those laws passed last year include requiring parental consent for students under 16 to change their names or pronouns at school, banning transgender girls from joining female sports teams, and restricting gender-affirming healthcare for youth under 16.
I don't know how any human being, let alone a child, begins to process and reconcile that the government has told them that they're a second-class citizen.
Advocacy groups are challenging parts of the laws in court, calling them discriminatory.
It does send a chilling message to many people in the 2S LGBTI community.
While the government says it is prepared to use all legal and constitutional tools to protect children. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
Canada's oldest independent brewery is bidding farewell to bottles. CTV's Sarah Plowman explains why and what it could mean for the price of beer.
Decades after bottles debuted at Moosehead, they face their final act. In a few months, bottles will be gone. More cans are coming.
We need to focus on what our consumers want, and that's beer and cans.
Once the top choice, bottles have slid in popularity as consumers reach for cans. Today, the bulk of Canadian beer is canned. It offers more space for labels, fits better in trucks and fridges, and some argue there are quality benefits.
The can is a much stronger preventer of oxygen getting in.
It was the consumer who drove the industry to a package the consumer preferred.
Ditching bottles for cans might be what people prefer, but will it cost you more? We had to ask.
No.
Moosehead says it's been eating the costs as its cans, like all aluminum cans, face double tariffs, and the price of raw aluminum has spiked.
That's hurting us. I would say it's manageable at this point.
Beer Canada notes some breweries have had to up their prices.
If that 200% increase in the raw price of aluminum stays around for a while, that will be just the tip of the iceberg.
For now, the focus here is on legacy. They've launched a contest for someone to win the last bottle made.
We're asking for consumers to tell us why they think they're our biggest fans, and the response so far has been great.
As for how the company's president prefers to drink beer.
So my grandfather said the best vessel to drink a beer out of is a glass.
Tradition he can carry forward no matter what. Sarah Plowman, CTV News, St. John.
They had been coming into Ontario to commit these auto thefts.
Well, up next, breaking up an auto theft trafficking ring right here in Ontario. Plus, we'll have an extended look at your forecast.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
All right, we'll take another look at what's happening weather-wise here in the capital. It's a beautiful day, lots of sunshine, but we're definitely feeling a chill in the air. Again, can you believe it's the last week of summer that we're dealing with? Well, looking here through the satellite radar again, we don't have many clouds to deal with overhead. We don't have any rain in the forecast until the beginning of next week. A quick peek at what's happening right across the country right now. Overcast skies, 13 degrees in Charlottetown, sunshine, 15 in Fredericton, 13 in Halifax. They've got over skies as well. Here in Ottawa, clear conditions. We're looking at 17 degrees. Same thing for the Toronto area. Windsor, clear conditions, but 24 degrees that they're enjoying over there. Overcast, 15 degrees toward the Thunder Bay stretch. We've got 17 degrees with overcast skies in Winnipeg. Looking at mainly sunny skies in towards Saskatchewan, 27 in Saskatoon, 28 in Regina, 27 overcast skies in Edmonton, 28 with overcast skies over toward Calgary. In Vancouver, they're also dealing with some overcast skies, but they're enjoying 22 degrees at the moment. Here's a look at what's happening closer toward home. Clear conditions in the overnight hours. Here's toward Ottawa, but again, 1 degree for your overnight low. Again, we do have a frost warning for Ottawa and the region as well. Tomorrow we'll be dealing with 23 degrees, mainly sunny skies. Mainly sunny tomorrow as well for the Ottawa Valley. They're looking at 22 degrees, but again, their overnight low, look at that, -1. I can't believe we're dealing with minus numbers now in our weather forecast. We're looking along the Seaway as well. They've got a 1 degree for their overnight low. 23 degrees with sunshine for their high tomorrow. And we'll take a look at what's happening for the next 7 days ahead. Again, the weekend seems like it's going to be pretty nice. 23 degrees if you're participating in the Canada Army Run tomorrow. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, looks like we could have some showers rolling through the area. New details are emerging about a small measles outbreak just north of Toronto. Now, while doctors are not concerned for those who have been vaccinated, they're worried about the growing vaccine hesitancy coming from the U.S. CTV's Adrian Gabriel reports.
A foreign strain of the measles is confirmed to have landed on Canadian soil and is to blame for an outbreak of 5 known cases in children in Vaughan, Ontario.
We do know there's been community transmission, and all the 5 cases we're talking about are linked. So we know that just from the lab analysis that they're all actually the same subtype of virus.
The emergency room at the Cortellucci Vaughan Hospital is one of 2 locations where there may have been an exposure, though health officials note that if you're vaccinated, there's little to be concerned about.
This vaccine, especially in children and adolescents, does a remarkable job in preventing infection, and there's overwhelming data supporting that.
As of September 6th, there's been more than 4,900 cases of measles reported across the country, with the largest clusters found in Alberta and Ontario, where more than 2,300 cases have been confirmed. The largest measles outbreak found here in southwestern Ontario, where the highly contagious disease spread at an alarming rate through some of the region's Mennonite communities, where vaccination rates are below the national average.
When you do have a pocket of non-immune individuals and you introduce the virus into that pocket, it's going to take off like wildfire.
Infectious disease specialists are hopeful that the worst of Canada's 2025 outbreaks are behind us. The recent Canadian cases come as a newly appointed federal advisory panel stateside installed by U.S. Secretary of Health Robert F. Kennedy Jr. passed a vote this week recommending that children under 4 no longer receive an all-in-one vaccine for measles, mumps, rubella, and chickenpox. North of the border, some doctors are worried that decision could lead to more vaccine hesitancy.
I'm not looking to the United States for guidance on the appropriate path forward. And I don't think much of the world is either.
Here in the Greater Toronto Area, if you visited a location where there may have been a potential exposure, you're being asked to call your local public health unit immediately. Adrian Gobrel, CTV News, Vaughan, Ontario.
Police say they have disrupted an auto theft trafficking ring right here in Ontario. Now, the investigation has resulted in several arrests and over 100 charges. CTV's Sean Leathon has more.
The crackdown on car thefts in Durham region has led to 5 more arrests and exposing what police allege is an interprovincial crime network.
They had been coming into Ontario to commit these auto thefts.
The 5 men arrested all live in Quebec, but police say they've been traveling to Ontario for the purpose of stealing vehicles and moving them out of province.
More than likely, these vehicles were not driven all the way back to Quebec, but they would have figured out a method to transport these vehicles discreetly back to Quebec.
According to Durham Regional Police, Project Egypt began last June with police tracing the movements of these alleged car thieves, leading to a search conducted in Mississauga on Wednesday, which led to the 5 arrests.
As a result of that investigation, 25 stolen vehicles that were re-VINed were identified and 8 stolen vehicles were recovered.
Charged are Shaina Faustine, age 32, Jean Junior Goriel, age 24, Kyle Kane, age 22, Dylan Chumasoro, age 19, and Joshua Jean-Louis, age 24. They face over 100 charges, including conspiracy to commit an indictable offense, theft of motor vehicle, traffic in property obtained by crime, possession of property obtained by crime, and also 2 of them face a fail to comply with release order and fail to comply with probation order.
And while the results of Project Egypt were significant, police say there is the possibility that these 5 are working for a larger criminal organization.
More than likely that all these organized crime groups are linked and they have multiple employees working for them.
Police say most, if not all, of the vehicles stolen were destined to be shipped overseas. Durham Regional Police say Project Egypt was part of a larger project, Attire, focusing on car thefts since 2023. To date, the project has accounted for more than 80 suspect arrests and nearly 400 charges. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
People kind of look at me like, what is this? Other people are smiling, and I point at them and say, that's what it's all about, that smile.
When we come back, we introduce you to the Undercover dachshund and this man on a mission to crack a few smiles.
Pure Country 94, Ottawa's country music station. Pure access to the biggest stars and the hottest songs. Download the free iHeartRadio app to listen to Pure Country everywhere.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
It's time now to check in with our iHeartRadio Weekender, Tanea Taylor. Tanea.
We are still into fair season, and this weekend it's the Richmond Fair. All your favorite family-friendly fair activities, multiple horse, cattle, 4-H, and sheep shows, a demolition derby, live entertainment, of course a midway, and lots more. Plus, kids 6 and under get in for free. And coming up tomorrow, your Atletico Ottawa is taking on Forge FC at 3 p.m. at TD Place. Always love cheering for an Ottawa team in the stands. This is another great one for the whole family, or even for a date night. Tickets start at just $20, so why don't you grab some? Lots more happening around the capital this weekend. For the full list and all the details, check ctvottawa.ca/weekenders. For the iHeartRadio Weekenders, I'm Tanea Taylor. Have a great one.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
Well, in case you missed it this week, a group of volunteers at All Saints Anglican Church in Greeley are transforming trash into treasure. They're turning something most of us throw away into something many experiencing homelessness desperately need. CTV's Caitlin Wilson explains.
On a Tuesday night in Greeley, the church pews are empty, but the back room is full of volunteers woven together by purpose.
You can see over here where they're all doing it's just over and under, back and forth, one end to the other.
turning milk bags, a lot of milk bags, into something that can make a real difference.
It is just providing a little bit of comfort, one bag at a time.
Comfort that comes in the form of sleeping mats, a lifeline for those without a bed to call their own.
There's a lot of people in the city sleeping rough, especially with it being summer. The shelters are over capacity, so people will be sleeping outside, and they'll use these mats instead of sleeping just on the bare ground.
It takes teamwork.
This is where it starts. The bags are flattened. There's 3 simple cuts done, so the bottom is cut off.
Then they're looped together before the weaving begins, and it takes about 450 milk bags to make just one mat. Since the initiative began 3 years ago, more than 430 mats have been woven, plus around 400 portable sitting pads.
It's the fact that we're helping people, and it's also helping the environment as well. It's multifaceted.
And that's no small feat. The group partners with Earth Hub, a local environmental group that collects the bags, diverting more than 460,000 from the landfill since 2019.
The interesting thing about milk bags is they actually have the recycling symbol on them, but milk bags are not accepted in the blue bin in Ottawa. So therefore, they would have to go to the landfill. So we're trying to reuse them first before they end up there.
A labor of love woven into every mat, transforming plastic pollution into compassion and comfort.
As long as there's a need, we're not stopping. And everybody here will tell you the same thing.
Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
An Oshawa man is using his daily walks with his dog as an opportunity to spread joy. CTV's John Venevalley-Rao has more on the duet, getting plenty of double takes.
Do you want to go for a walk?
That's the question Rich Lutchford loves to ask his best friend Maya, a tiny dachshund whose daily walks involve more than the usual gear.
Go on then, let's go.
Because Lutchford, hoping to fetch some smiles, aiming to turn heads with an inflatable suit that has nothing to do with Halloween.
Just thought it would be funny.
Lutchford, who works as a roofer, simply started regularly walking Maya in public dressed like this. A wiener dog walking a wiener dog.
People kind of look at me like, what is this? Other people are smiling, and I point at them and say, that's what it's all about. That smile. Have a great day. Yes! Have a great day!
Lutchford hoping to add some levity to a world that could use it right now.
Yeah!
And this, the kind of response he gets everywhere he goes.
I've had literally people scream, stop, say, oh my gosh, and then drive off.
And of course, everyone wants a picture. What do you love about it?
Everything. That he's walking his dog like that. I love it.
I think it's great. Lutchford also posting videos of himself doing things like going to the dog park and wandering through a grocery store. All sorts of local groups are now asking him to make appearances. The mayor of neighboring Whitby noticed and awarded him a certificate, acknowledging the joy he was bringing to others.
I thought it was pretty cool.
So what does Maya think of it all? Lutchford says she gets excited when he puts on the suit.
I think she likes me more as a dog than as a human.
And Lutchford, he plans to keep on warming as many hearts as he can, leaving his mark one smile at a time. John Venevalley-Rao, CTV News, Oshawa, Ontario.
All right, after the break, a reminder for tomorrow's Canada Army Run. Over 15,000 runners will pound the pavement along downtown Ottawa, and that means traffic detours for much of the city. In tonight's Big Picture, today marks the start of Oktoberfest in Germany. These are the scenes of the opening day of the festival in Munich. Servers can be seen carrying multiple steins of beer to tables, with others heading onto the festival grounds. Now, the 2-week-long festival has been celebrated for nearly 200 years. All right, now to some other stories you need to know right now. The Ottawa Redblacks look to claw up the CFL standings, hosting the Winnipeg Blue Bombers this afternoon at TD Place.
3 to the left, 3 to the right for Brown. Shirley looking to throw. How about a quarter round? Got it! Touchdown, Ottawa!
Well, was a nice start for Drew Brown and the Redblacks, punching through with the first touchdown of the game, but wasn't enough. Winnipeg, though, they only had 3 completions. They lent on their run game today, and it really paid off. Ottawa scored a second touchdown in garbage time, but the Blue Bombers walk away with the 26-18 win. Ottawa, they do have a bye week next week, but they play again at home on Friday, October 3rd. They'll be hosting the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Stella Downing breaking the deadlock for the Ottawa Rapid this afternoon in Vancouver against Rise FC. Ottawa didn't look back at this one at all, with adding 2 more goals en route to the 3-0 win. Rapid FC plays next on Friday at TD Place Stadium, and that'll be against top-ranked AFC Toronto.
In addition to raising awareness and funds today, I think the other thing that the Canadian Walk for Veterans does is just build that social connection between those who may be struggling in isolation, maybe, at home wondering how they can get back into community.
Well, across the country today, many participated in the Canadian Walk for Veterans, supporting research and programs to help military veterans, active service members, and their families. Here in Ottawa, today's event went ahead at the Swords and Plowshares Museum in the city's South End, with guest speakers, live performances, a barbecue, as well as much more family fun. And reminder, over 15,000 runners are gearing up for tomorrow's Canada Army Run. The run, created in 2008, connects military members with the public to show their appreciation, and it raises funds to support those who serve in the Canadian Armed Forces. The 5K, 10K, and half marathon races start outside City Hall, with runners crossing the finish line at the National War Memorial. And for a full list of the road closures, you can head to our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca.
Perez cracks one, deep right field, to the track, to the wall, and gone!
Well, the Toronto Blue Jays looked like anything but a first-place team last night. They were blown out 20-1 in the first of a 3-game set against the Kansas City Royals. Now, despite the loss, the Jays' magic number to secure a playoff spot remains at 3. They will look to right the ship versus KC tonight. First pitch is set for just after 7 o'clock.
We had a couple here this morning who came to pick something up because they met at Whispers Pub, and they've been married for a number of years now.
Well, coming up, we'll have more from an auction today at a popular Westboro pub, all in support of the local food bank. Plus, we'll take one more look at the weekend forecast. And a quick look now through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, still sitting at 18 degrees, clear conditions, still sunny out there here in Ottawa.
Tonight, an aspiring Olympian's desperate immigration odyssey.
We're shouting, we're jumping up and down, we're like, yes, yes, we're here to stay.
The email that changed his family's fate, later on CTV National News.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's a recap of the top stories we're following right now.
It started out as a climate rally, but we realized that we need to build a much larger coalition.
Ottawa police say 2 people arrested for mischief at today's Draw the Line protest against Prime Minister Mark Carney's government agenda.
Usually I race in Europe, so I always like to come home and do this race.
Some of the top women cyclists pedaling across the river today into Ottawa for the Tour de Gatineau road race. And taking advantage of the city's rules allowing alcohol in select parks, the Ottawa Redblacks host their first ever tailgating party on the Great Lawn at Lansdowne. All right, now we'll have a final check of weather, and we'll take a quick look at your 7-day forecast as well. Waking up to 3 degrees here. We have an overnight low of 1 degree here for Ottawa. We're also going to be dealing with a frost advisory for the area as well. Definitely heading in toward the fall season. Here's what's happening for the next week ahead. We've got again tomorrow for the Canada Army race. Great conditions, mainly sunny, 23 degrees, but look at that overnight low, 1 degree. And we could have some rain to start off our week on Monday. That'll be rolling into Tuesday as well. All right, finally for us tonight, a unique fundraiser for the Westboro Region Food Bank. Collectibles and vintage sporting equipment from Whispers Pub were sold to the highest bidders.
It's been a great day, and it's really fun to hear everyone share their memories. We also had someone who was in and picked up the thank you plaque that her sports team had given Whispers Pub for sponsoring them, and I think it shows how the businesses in Westboro and the businesses in Ottawa have been supporting our communities for decades.
Whispers closed down in 2022 after more than 40 years in business. Now, again, some of the decor and collectibles from inside, they were sold with the proceeds supporting the local food banks. Again, sports memorabilia, pictures, signs. And one of our camera gals, Maddie, she even picked up a vintage snowshoe when she went to the shoe today. So that's pretty cool stuff that they have there. Again, proceeds going to the local food bank, which is always great. All right, well, that's CTV News for this Saturday, September 20th. CTV News continues online anytime with our digital team, keeping up to date at ctvnewsottawa.ca. You can also watch our newscast live on the CTV News app anytime. And for news on the go, listen to News Talk Radio 580 CFRA. For all of us here at CTV News, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back for the Late Show to wrap up today's news. Until then, have a good one.